Google was founded in 1998 by two Stanford PhD students, Sergey Brin and Larry Page, who had developed a formula for rank ordering random search results by relevancy. Their formula gave rise to an incredibly powerful internet search engine that rapidly attracted a loyal following. The search engine enabled users to quickly find information through a simple and intuitive user interface. It also enabled Google to sell highly targeted advertising space. The company grew rapidly. In 2001, Brin and Page hired Eric Schmidt, former CTO of Sun Microsystems and former CEO of Novell, to be Google's CEO. In 2004, the company went public, raising $1.6 billion in one of the most highly anticipated IPOs ever. Under Schmidt, the company adhered to a broad yet disciplined mission to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. This led the company to leverage its core search and advertising capabilities into blogging, online payments, social networks, and other information-driven businesses. In 2014, Google had sales over $66 billion and employed more than 57,000 people. Despite this size, however, the company avoided hierarchy and bureaucracy and sought to maintain a small company feel.
In accordance with this belief, Google's engineers were organized into small technology teams with considerable decision-making authority. Every aspect of the headquarters, from the shared offices with couches to the recreation facilities and the large communal cafe known as Charlie's Place, was designed to foster informal communication and collaboration. Managers refer to Google as a flexible and flat technocracy, where resources and control were allocated based on the quality of people's ideas rather than seniority or hierarchical status. Schmidt remarked, "One of the things that we've tried very hard to avoid at Google is the sort of divisional structure that prevents collaboration across units. It's difficult, so I understand why people want to build business units and have their presidents. But by doing that, you cut down the informal ties that in an open culture drive so much collaboration. If people in the organization understand the values of the company, they should be able to self-organize to work on the most interesting problems." A key ingredient in Google's organization is an incentive system that requires all technical personnel to spend 20% of their time on innovative projects of their own choosing. This budget for innovation is not merely a device for creating slack in the organization for creative employees. It is an aggressive mandate that employees develop new product ideas. As noted by one Google engineer, this isn't a matter of doing something in your spare time, but more of actively being available for it. Heck, I don't have a good 20% project yet, and I need one. If I don't produce something, I'm sure it could negatively impact my review. Managers face similar incentives. Each manager is required to spend 70% of his or her time on the core business, 20% on related but different projects, and 10% on entirely new products. According to Marissa Mayer, Google's head of search products and user experience, a significant portion of Google's new products and features, including Gmail and AdSense, resulted from the 20% time investments of Google engineers.
In his 1-minute interview, Eric Schmidt, the then CEO of Google, had said that great idea has always seemed to come from young people in the company. So to avoid these young people from going off to form a startup of their own, Google allocated 20% of its employees' time to work on ideas, also called as hobby ideas. A lot of great products coming from Google had resulted from this 20% personal time of the employees. The interview session can be seen in the following clip.
The shocking fact is that the great ideas are almost never from the older, more senior leaders. The great ideas always seem to come from young people who see a different way, a different model, and they don't get listened to, so they leave and they go to a startup. So instead, why don't you go and ask for what are some new ideas, some new approaches here? What's a new idea to solve this problem? And you'll hear it, and you may hear it from unexpected sources. In Google's case, we have a rule called 20% time, which is you're allowed to spend 20% of your time on your own project. You can tell your boss, leave me alone for this one day a week, I'm working on this other idea. And many of our most creative ideas in advertising and maps and platforms have come from somebody who became passionate about an idea and convinced their friends that this 20% idea, which is really a hobby idea, should be fundamental to the company. A lot of innovation comes bottoms up in firms.
In a podcast interview at Stanford University, Andy Grove, the former CEO of Intel, remarked that the company's organization appeared chaotic, even noting from the outside it looks like Google's organizational structure is described by Brownian motion in an expanding model, and questioned whether Smith believed this model would continue to work forever. In his response, Smith responded, "There's an important secret to tell, which is there are parts of the company that are not run chaotically. Our legal department, our finances, our sales force has normal sales quotas, our normal strategic planning activities, our normal investment activities, our M&A activities are run in a very traditional way. So the part of Google that gets all the attention is the creative side, the part where new products are being built and designed, and that is different. And it looks to us like that model will scale for quite some time. It looks like small teams can run ahead and that we can replicate that model for that part of the company." In a nutshell, Google excels at IT and business architecture, experimentation, improvisation, analytical decision-making, participative product development, and other relatively unusual forms of innovation. It balances an admittedly chaotic ideation process with a set of rigorous, data-driven methods for evaluating ideas.